Hello, this is Versailles, and we're going to go over some of the new stuff in Legends of Runeterra today. So first off, in the store, you can buy big guns for, I think it's like 990 um, Legends of Runeterra coins. I don't even know what the currency is called. But you can buy that. It is the side-graded Luden's Tempest. It's the epic version of that. And then there are new epics in your Golden Reliquary. I got Frozen Tomb, which I'm not super excited about, but I don't know, maybe there will be a use for that. So this is the big gun's power. Your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage, and Frozen Tomb is game start. Summon a Storm Carved Spire with countdown 4, summon me. You can use this to print an extra copy of your champion, or if it'll take you more than 4 rounds to get it, it'll let you get that. I don't I don't know. I don't know how often you're surviving for 4 rounds, but if you are, this exists. Yeah, like I said, it's the one I was probably least excited about, but we'll get through them all eventually. Getting back to the store, we have the Vi Celebration bundle, and this is going to have 60 Vi fragments, the Relic Cease and Desist, some Greater Cosmic Blessings, and some Spirit Forges. Um, I usually buy these because I like the Epic Relics. They're not always super good, but whatever. And then we also have the Caitlyn Celebration bundle, which is basically the same, except it has Hextech Rifle and Caitlyn Fragments instead of I. You also get 5 Silver Vaults. Whatever. That's a thing that exists that you can get if you want it. There is the Vi and Caitlyn 4-star bundle, which has a ton of fragments for either, but it costs about $40 here for both. A ton of fragments for both Caitlyn and Vi. Also has 4 gold vaults and a minor gemstone vessel, which I don't know, who cares, I guess. And it has some PNZ star crystals. It should be enough, presumably, to take you to 4 stars. Um, then you have the 5-star bundles, which have more fragments, a couple more gemstone vessels and platinum vaults, some wild fragments, and some star crystals here. I assume the same for Caitlyn's. Yeah. So if you want to do that, you can do that. It doesn't look like they have the Nova Crystal bundles, but maybe you can just buy more copies of that here if that's a thing you wanted. To get to 6-star constellation, I'm not purchasing these. They're very expensive and I'm not that rich, but I will probably buy the $10 ones up here, and I'll consider this $40 one. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. I'm not particularly interested in Vi or Caitlyn. Although Caitlyn's 6-star looks good, but the 6-star is like $100, so I don't know. Not extra interested in that. Going back to the Path of Champions, the Cease and Desist relic is 3 impact, and if you have 10 plus power on play, give me barrier and start free attack challenging the strongest enemy. I think this will be really good with Overwhelm, because you'll, have 10 plus power, and obviously it synergizes with Vi pretty well. But I think it could be good on anything that has 10 plus power. And Overwhelm, I'm not sure if it'll be the best in those cases, but we'll see. Black Shield here is new. When you summon an ally, grant its spell shield. That will replace Banshee's Veil on a lot of things. Anything that you need to keep safe, and if it gets removed from the board, you lose the game. This will be good on. We have Hextech Rifle. This is the other one from the bundles. Game start, plant 6 Flash Bomb traps in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. When a Flash Bomb trap misses, plant it back in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. That'll honestly kind of seems necessary for Caitlyn. I'm not sure. We haven't played Caitlyn yet, so I'm not sure exactly how important it will be, but recycling your flash bomb trap seems like a really good power. New relics that you can get from, I think the golden reliquaries are Hidden Tome. So we've already covered Black Shield. Hidden Tome, when you summon or level up a champion, refill your spell mana. This is an upgraded Lost Chapter. Lost Chapter is very good on a ton of um, champions, so this is just better than that. Living Weapon, this is the upgraded Gonsu's Rage Blade. Gyeonsu's Rage Blade, which is attack, grant me +1/+1. This is play, attack, and round start, grant me +1/+1. It is Forge, so if you have an equipped ally, or if you have an equipment, it'll go on that instead of the ally, which is uh, presumably better. This will be good on like Vayne and anything that attacks a lot. And we have Loaded Dice, which is +3 rerolls, +10% to epic powers and items. This, I think, will be very good on a lot of champions. Like if you're trying to sneak a win in and you just need a certain power in order to do that, and this also gives you, higher chances for epic powers. I think this will actually be better than it sounds. And Stack Deck is +200 starting gold. Allies have +1/+1 for every 12 cards in your deck past 18 at game start. I think this is trash. I don't think you'll ever use this on anything. Um, Maybe if you're using Bounty Hunter's Renown, but increasing your deck size is usually bad. For every 12 cards past 18 sounds completely terrible. I mean, I don't know how often, even if you were trying, that you could reach 42 cards in your deck. So, I don't know. It sounds like +1/+1 at best, and you get 200 starting gold. I think that's actually just really bad. Not sure why they made it. Uh, It's kind of similar to the collector here, where you have +1/+1, and when I kill an enemy, you earn 50 gold. You can do that 2 times per encounter. It's a little different because you start with like the 200 gold, and it's basically a universal +1/+1 to all of your units instead of just your champion. But I think most of the time you're gonna, especially on an epic relic, just prefer the beast within, which will just give your units with subtypes +1/+1 and overwhelm. If you don't have subtypes, I don't know. Maybe there's a place for it. I don't really think there is. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the new relics. And then going over some changes here, they did change Vi's constellation. So it used to be, I think, round start, draw, you grant your strongest ally +0/+1 impact. Now it's when you draw a card. I think that hasn't changed, the 2-star. And the 3-star is when you draw a card, grant your strongest ally +0/+2 and 2 impact. So you can draw cards really easily. So you can grant a lot of impact. I think this has to be on board though, so you're not going to get any advantage from like the first round unless you get something that puts units on the board at game start. So that might be something to synergize with that. There's a bunch of powers like that. You have, of course, Starve Bounty for the 20 Nexus health. Actually, that's, I think, different than a lot of them. I don't think they're usually +20 Nexus health. I think it's usually like +10 and then some gold or something. So that's different. Up on this side, we have the 4-star ability, which is Crush, which is allies have Overwhelm. That's going to synergize really well, like I said, with the Relic, and then just Vi's play style in general. Maybe this is, I don't know, whatever. This is Star of Legends. You get support champions have Wriggle's Lantern. I, eh. The 5-star is Mana Flow, which is you just get the extra mana gem. You have Celestial Bounty, which +5 health for P and Z champions. That's kind of cool. Celestial Insight is +100% XP. Gemstones are really hard to get, so like I have 20 of them. I've been playing nonstop the whole time. So these are basically not unlockable. and 100% XP. Usually not super relevant because you'll max your champion way before you'll get the gemstones. Up here we have another one, which is plus 5% to epics. I think this Celestial Fortune is just normal on all of them. Celestial Legends is support cards have an additional item, which is fine, I guess. We have the Star of Discovery over here, which followers you acquire in the adventure that costs 4 more of Ancient Coin. That's probably pretty nice. I don't know how quick Vi is planning on closing out games, but this will let you play. If you had like the 5-star mana gem, you could play a 4 cost on round 3, which is probably pretty nice. Mushroom Cloud has mana potion. Sure. I mean, it makes Mushroom Cloud free, which means that when you're playing some of the cards in the deck that create the Mushroom Cloud, that'll just be a free way to power up your Vi a little bit. Gotcha has Charging Sigil 2, which is good. We want more damage on our removal. Still doesn't really keep up with like the 5 and 6-star adventures, but whatever. And we run the streets. When you play a card, grant allies in hand +1/+0. This is her 6-star ability, and yeah, I mean that synergizes perfectly with what she's doing. You'll get 2 instead of 1 on her for every card played. It should allow you to play her a little bit earlier. One of the downsides to her relic, which is on play if you have 10 plus power, is that you need to do it on play, whereas normally you can put Vi down and then at a later point power up to 10 to level her up. So this will help get there faster. I don't know if it's particularly strong, but maybe combined with the Overwhelm, she'll just be like a really fast, aggressive playstyle, even without playing Vi herself. I've been using double Curator's Gatekeeper and Bounty Hunter's Renown. This lets her get to a point where, like when you play her, she's striking for 10, and you also do just like 20 damage, and basically you play her win the game. I would probably change this with the Cease and Desist Relic. I don't know, I'll have to play around with it because we're going to be looking to get power, and that -1 power is going to impact how quickly we can do that. But on longer fights like Aurelion Sol, you do tend to get to like 2,000 gold. So Bounty Hunter's Renown is good. The early fights are a little problematic, but as you start building into it, um, it's really strong. Caitlyn, I don't know what I'm going to put on her yet. I think just for start, we're going to use like So's Rage Blade. Seems like she wants to attack. She already has quick attack, so this makes sense to me. As Dream of Yordles may be something that you could put on her as well. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really thought about it. I'm going to switch out of common relics as soon as I can. And I'll need to play her a little bit to figure out what her best relics are going to be. Her constellation is starts here, caught in my trap. Your traps deal double damage. That'll be good. It'll let the flash bombs, hit past tough. You have on the case. The +1 starting mana when an ally is summoned or attacks. Plant a flash bomb trap in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. This is, I mean, going to be how you level her up, basically, I think. But only one flash bomb trap seems kind of low. Uh, it might be like for each attacking ally, which is what it sounds like. You're going to get one. So maybe she can flood the board. And then, I actually haven't seen her deck even yet. So maybe she'll flood the board, and then like this will be a significant amount. And then doubled with that 1-star power. And could end up being a lot of damage. Her 4-star ability is Officer Backup. Game start. Summon a Sting Officer, which is Nexus Strike. Plant 2 Flash Trap Bombs in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. And it's 1/2 Elusive. That's, I mean, fine. It's not bad. A Mana Flow, of course. Her 3-star ability is Caught in My Trap 2. Your traps deal triple damage, so each one of your traps will do 3. That's kind of nice. I'm not sure if these synergize with anything else. Like I don't think boons synergize with like elemental winds, which gives you like +2. I don't think it'll synergize with like Luden's Tempest. You have your Star of Bounty here, which is +1 reroll and 100 gold. That's what I was saying. Like when we saw Vi's constellation, that I think 20 health is kind of different. And then she has a cool target here for her constellation. Her 6 stars perfect aim. Round start, create an ace in the hole in hand if you don't have one. When one of your traps activates, reduce its cost by 1. An ace in the hole is deal 10 to an enemy. If there are no enemies, deal 10 to the enemy next instead. 50% chance to critical strike. I don't know if I can actually look at this card to see what critical strike means. It does have overwhelm, so it'll hit past the enemy as well. Kind of like a upgraded Lux ability, whose name I can't remember at this moment. Anyway, so this should be an interesting ability. It sounds really fun. You should be able to activate a lot of traps every turn. And then you're going to be able to play this, I assume, for free and remove an enemy unit most of the time, and then deal damage to your enemy nexus. Your enemy unit should also be low because of your bombs in the first place. Some of her other powers are Starve Blessing, House Wump. So I guess that's going to be in the deck. Has Shadow Totem, so you're going to plant 4 Flash Bomb traps when you play him. That seems pretty good. Followers you acquire have Flash Bomb Satchel, which is that same power on attack. When I'm summoned, plant 4 Flash Bomb traps in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. You have Celestial Fortune, which is just normal, +5 to epic to find epic items and powers, +1 to find legendary. You have reroll for P and Z champions, XP for P and Z champions. Support cards have an additional item, and then your other Star of Legends are Advanced Intel, has Tears of the Goddess. That's great. You'll be able to play that for free. So it'll be a cantrip. You'll just play it, draw 1. You'll probably look for extra copies of that if you can get it in your battle rewards, just so you can play it more often. Again, playing it for free and drawing 1, replacing itself is great. And her last one is when I'm summoned to create the Sheriff of your support champions have the Sheriff of Piltover, which is when they're summoned, create the Sheriff of Piltover in your hand. I believe that puts 1 Flash Bomb trap on every card in the enemy's deck. So yeah, it's a 2-cost burst. Plant 1 Flash Bomb trap in each card of the enemy's deck. Let's look over her. So this is Vi. She is a 3/3/3. On strike, plant 2 Flash Bomb traps in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck. Level up is 5 of your traps have activated. And I guess I can't look at her level up. Her level up is on strike, plant 4 Flash Bomb traps in the top 8 cards of the enemy deck, and deal damage to the enemy nexus equal to the number of your traps activated this round. I feel like there's a world in which you're using like 2 or 3 Stalker's Blades, or maybe Stalker's Blade and Curator's Gatekeeper to just plant a lot of traps, or maybe you level first and then player down, and then you just do a ton of damage all at once. Her champion spell is Caitlyn's Piltover Peacemaker, which deals 2 to a unit, fast, cost 2, and plant. So deal 2 to a unit and plant 2 Flash Bomb traps in the top 8 cards in the enemy deck. Create a Caitlyn, and a Flash Bomb trap is, of course, a trap. Deals 1 damage to a random ally. So those will be doing 3 with her 3-star ability. So yeah, that sounds pretty fun to me. So let's see how that goes. Alright, so I bought the 2 celebration bundles. So this gives us our silver volts. We get 5. It's probably going to be primarily Stardust here. So this is why I don't think silver volts are super great. If you have mostly everything, you're going to end up getting a lot of Stardust. However, you do get, I guess it's 50 fragments total. So if you're into that, cool. And then we're going to go ahead and unlock Caitlyn. So how I normally play on a new champion is obviously first to unlock them. And then I would normally get them to champion level 3, or 3-star, I guess, constellation now. So we're going to do the 1-star here and the 2-star here. I'm going to stop here for now just to see kind of how she plays, and then I'll show a little bit of how I go through the leveling process. I don't normally look at the starting deck. Words don't mean anything to me, so without playing, I don't really understand what's happening. But she does have 2 copies of House Wump, which when summoned is 2 Flash Bomb Traps. I have Advanced Intel, plant 2 Flash Bomb Traps, draw a card. Flash Bomb Peddler, when you play a spell, plant 1 Flash Bomb Trap. It's kind of like the Puff Cap Peddler. Sting Officer, Nexus Strike, plant 2. Caitlyn herself, Double Agent, Strike, all players draw 1. I think what you're probably going to want to do is play this guy on like round 1 or 2, set up a bunch of things, and then on round 3 play Caitlyn, hopefully with an attack here, and hopefully that'll trigger a bunch of traps, and then Caitlyn coming down with like I said, 2 um, Stalker's Blades should end up doing a ton of damage, especially if she levels at the same time. Piltover Peacemaker is the fast spell that we talked about earlier. Justice Riders, whenever your opponent draws a card, you plant a Flash Bomb Trap. And Officer Squad, when I'm summoned, create a Most Wanted in hand, which forces a player to discard their lowest card and draw 3. I think it's going to depend on whether you want to use that on yourself or your opponent. One thing to note is you're never going to want to take anything with Nab. With Caitlyn, I think they might have removed it for the game, but sometimes they remove it and put it back. So I don't know. So normally, if I were playing, the first thing I do to level up is I go to the Might of Demacia. Gives you a bit more XP than the Teemo adventure, and you do want to get out of this 20 hit points. 20 hit points is too low. Can't S rank anything anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure what power we're gonna want here. Yeah, I just legitimately have no idea. So I'm gonna look for something that's like just regularly pretty good. Something like Crush here with Overwhelm sounds pretty good. Um, I'll take Reunited. Just +1/+0 is fine. Could also do Fixer Upper here. +3/+3 is probably enough to get through this entire adventure, but we'll take the +1. Go into Stony Suppressor. I'm gonna leave these fights in just because it's the first time I've seen Caitlyn. Also left her at 2-star so that you can see what it looks like there. So I'm going to do this adventure, and then after that, I'm going to go into try Aurelion Sol just to see kind of how she performs. Some champions are able to kill Aurelion Sol at level 1 and like 2-star. I don't think Caitlyn will be one of those. It's not to say she's bad, just I don't think she's on the same power level. So right now we're just basically playing that unit as a blocker, putting a bunch of traps in her deck. She doesn't have the thing yet where if a trap misses, it gets replanted. So that's kind of rough. And then, so yeah, we're just going to play units here. And they're already at 15 flash bombs, or 16, so that's pretty nice. I don't think we'll have a problem like making that happen, making the level up happen. We do get Caitlyn finally, and we can just block here to remove him from the board. Just going to attack next round and win the game. So one of the things I was a little concerned about was what's kind of happening here. It does have like 16 flash bombs. I think we've put 20 in total so far, but it still hasn't been enough to level her up. It's not going to matter on Stony Suppressor, but we're going to be looking for ways to increase the amount of flash bombs that go in, or increase their draw probably going forward. We'll take just a cheap unit here. Actually, this one seems like it synergizes really well. I've never read this card, but when one or more of your traps or boons activate, plant 2 of it in the player's deck. So I think that means any amount would just plant 2, but I mean, it might help us get a little bit extra. We'll take Needly, why not? So obviously, this is an easy adventure. Probably nothing matters. We're going to take that shop over there to try to get an extra power. We're not concerned about winning. I think it'll be fairly straightforward. We'll play down Master Thrift. Every time we play a card, we get 2 flash bombs into their deck. And then every time we attack, we also get 2. And like I thought, that is for each unit. So it's at 7 right now. When we attack, it'll be up to 10. So it's only adding 1 on attack. Yeah, 1 on play, 1 on attack. So here we can either use Piltover or Peacemaker to remove on Scarred Reaver, or gamble with Advanced Intel. Advanced Intel also gets us a draw, but we can't do both. I'm going to gamble. And we lost that gamble. Play Sting Officer. Still going to remove these units. I don't know if it's worth keeping Master Thrift, because we're about to remove both our units. One of the things I'm thinking about is like, what is Caitlyn's finisher? And I think it's going to tend to be her attacking after she's leveled, putting a bunch of flash bomb traps into the deck. This attack will lose Justice Rider and remove that guy. I think that's worse than just leaving him on the board. So yeah, what is Caitlyn's finisher? Hard to say since we're not drawing her. But like I said, I think it'll probably end up being using Caitlyn herself. We're going to play the double agent to block here so we can draw trying to get into Caitlyn. I think that's going to be a defensive maneuver that we can use too. Like, as a combat trick, make your opponent draw and then remove a unit. It should give a fair amount of safety as well. And these uh, fights have low Nexus health, and like we're still on round 7, we haven't removed them yet. Obviously, we're level 0 champion, 2-star constellation, so we're gonna get a lot of power as we go forward. We also don't have good relics. We don't start with our champion in hand. So there are obviously a lot of, like, this isn't going to be representative of Caitlyn's endgame power. However, I think it's enough to know that, like, she's not comparable to, like, obviously Aurelion Sol, or like Nora or Lux Illuminated. Um, yeah. So I feel like she's going to be, I mean, not at least on the aggression front. She might have a lot of control with planting all these flash bombs. I think especially if you can roll into a power where you're summoning units at round start, I think that's going to end up being pretty good just to start that train. And I think you're going to be able to control your draw to remove units from the enemy's board as they come up. Take production surge. It's going to be a 0-cost draw 1 is kind of what we're hoping out of it. And here we could do something like Puff Cap up. where we're adding more traps. It doesn't matter what trap we use for Caitlyn's level up. We take Bouncing Blades as a power just because it exists and it's cheap. It's not going to stop us from buying another power in the future. And I would like to end up getting Caitlyn, so maybe I should have just full mulliganed here. Because I want to see what it looks like when she's actually on the board. Same thing as last time, we're going to play this House Wump and also Master Thrift. Other thing that I'm noticing is like her units are pretty weak and they need to attack. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. And here, like I said, 0 cost draw 1. Gonna play Flash or Advanced Intel to draw another card here. Could have played Flash Bomb Peddler first, but I think we're going to go Sting Officer. So we're going to pull one of these just to do a little bit more damage. And so there's plenty of Flash Bombs in the enemy's deck to level Caitlyn up, but it just hasn't happened yet. And here we could play like Piltover Peacemaker and Blade's Edge just to remove the unit. That does mean that we're kind of going to waste any Flash Bombs that they draw. And get Caitlyn leveled. But I think her power is only going to do like 2. Doesn't matter because we're going to win here. But I think, like I've been saying, I think we're going to be looking for ways to force our opponents to draw. Maybe it's most wanted. And then I think the winning solution is going to be like drop Caitlyn on a round where they've already drawn a lot of flash bombs, and then that should win the game just from burn damage. I'm not sure how much Caitlyn's actually going to contribute to her win condition. This has special delivery, so that's just some extra traps we can get. And we'll take another shop here. Sure, we'll take over prepared. Why not? We remove our worst card from the deck right now. That's Towering Pyrophant. And we'll go into Ashe. This should be fairly safe for us. We don't kill our opponents very quickly, but we also have a lot, like decent removal from the flash bombs. Not super concerned about it. I think Ashe will level and we'll probably finish around like round 10. Play our low cost units, attach our equipment, and do an attack. That'll get us another summon as well. And I think they should be around like 5 flash bombs. Yeah. And play Production Surge for 0, adds another flash bomb, and gets us a unit. Also draws a card. Still looking for Caitlyn. Since his deck seems to be pretty defensive, we're going to want to remove a spell Archer rather than do damage to the Nexus. Probably the right move, kind of regardless. And then we can play Sting Officer to get a little bit more flash bomb in. So we can't win here if we play another card. I don't think that'll change the math at all. Here we want to preserve our Master Thrift, but we're fine losing Bristlehawk. Another production surge for 0. Still can't draw our champion. Alright, so 15 flash bombs, 20 cards. On average, one will go off, and it looks like we got 4. Or I guess one did 4 damage. Not really sure how to read that. Play another Bristle Hog. Goal here would be use him to block. And Ashe is low, so we can just focus on her now. Get enough traps to remove her from the board. Take a nice swing. Like I said, this deck seems to be pretty defensive. I'm not sure if it's gonna end up with like the same level of control as like a Yasuo or a Jhin. Probably not Yasuo. Yasuo is like S tier, but something like Jhin. But maybe it could be on that level. The startup seems a little slow. We're gonna take higher education here, and that's a little concerning to me. Like I'm wondering how we would play this into Aurelion Sol right now, and I'm not really seeing an answer. But again, we're level 0, which means we don't have any of her card power-ups, and those might be making a huge difference. We're also not even 3-star constellation, so our removal will be a lot better going forward. I'm going to play House Chump here so we can block the Cytherea. Then we'll play Master Thrift, put a Returno Wrench on him and play Production Surge for free. Do it again. We're not worried about tough because our bombs do double damage. And so yeah, they did nice 3 damage there. Yeah. And just keep going, just slowly wearing our enemy down. I don't feel the need to lose this wind up shredder. We do want to get rid of Dawnspeakers. That's a good choice just generally. Pulling this guy was not something we necessarily needed to do. We could have taken just done 2 less damage. That would have been fine. We're not winning the game next round anyway. But it does lower him, so like 1 flash trap would kill him. Here we'll play Justice Rider. That'll be able to block the Badger Bear. We have 1 spare mana, so just toss it at the Nexus. And we hope the Flash Bomb traps will remove it. On 3-star, we'll only need, I think, 2 Flash Bomb traps to remove. I'm not sure if it's... I think it's triple, so it'll be 3. I'm not sure if it's just 3 damage or if it's triple. I'm not sure if there's a way we can increase the damage of our traps anyway. So, like, I don't know that there's a significant difference between whether it would be triple or not. He's forced to block the Gallant Rider, but we get a couple extra traps down. So in a round like this, where we got 3 traps off, if we were to drop Caitlyn with Stalker's Blade, we would do, like 3 damage to the enemy Nexus. We can just remove this guy here. Puff Cap should also deal double damage if that ever came up. So here we're doing 5 and then 10, and I guess only 2 Puff Caps proc. So we're only going to do 2 extra damage from those. or not puff caps, but flash bomb traps. And my music has been off the whole time, so sorry. Take Spirit on Caitlyn just to get more copies of Caitlyn here. I'll also turn my music back on. Take the item chest. We could take advanced intel. It's basically free, and it gives us a little bit of healing. It's not horrible. Take another shop. Just looking for powers. That's not great, but we did pick up the other one that we start with in equipment, so attaching will just give him +2. Either of these is fine. Even at level 1, like, nothing really strong here. Could remove another card. That'll help us get into Caitlyn faster. I also think there's a place maybe for Death Spoil on Caitlyn, so she can't die when she attacks. I think that might be strong on her, since you're gonna need to attack with her. Might also be able to abuse just the fact that she's kind of a low-cost champion, and do like normal low-cost champion things with her, like Oath of Guardian, Star Gem.
I've trained my whole life for this.
I feel like Gale Force may have a place, but also might be like super detrimental. And so again here, we can put like any number of flash bomb traps into the enemy deck, but unless they're actually drawing them, it's not really like going towards our win condition here. And it's not leveling Caitlyn up, so we pulled 6 there, which is crazy. I don't know if it's 6 or just at 6 damage, man. I just don't understand how the math works.
They've barricaded the doors. Doesn't matter. Eyes peeled.
Alright, so yeah, it's the number of traps that activated. So Caitlyn will do 3 here. What I'm thinking is, like, if you use Most Wanted, you force them to draw 3 cards, they'll activate a bunch more flash bomb traps. And then, so now we're up to 11, so that Caitlyn attack will do 11. And I think that's basically what I'm looking for, like, in the end game. Like, when we're fully built out, level 30, we're gonna do something like that, then drop Caitlyn with double Stalker's Blade, or maybe triple Curator's Gatekeeper, and then she'll drop down and hit the Nexus for like 33 because 11 flash bombs dropped, and then the rest of the time you're just keeping your deck defensive with the flash bomb traps as protection. So if it works out playing like that, I mean, that's gonna be really strong. We'll see. Take advanced intel, make it a little bit cheaper, and we'll remove Gallant Rider, I guess. We get another removal here. Remove Crystal Hog. I want to kind of just lean into the theme of Caitlyn's deck here, so we can see what it should feel like when it's getting played. And then after this, we'll look into what her level upgrades are so that we know what we're going to get in the future, and that will give us an idea of kind of how the deck will look. So her deck's, like I said, is pretty defensive. Let's just remove when we have the opportunity to. And we can play flash bombs and then just draw into another card.
Hot on the trail.
Having Caitlyn down does seem important to get like a little bit extra flash bomb from her attack, but I mean it's not like significantly different from playing Sting Officer.
Approaching the battlefront.
Oh, thank me later.
Here if he attacks, we're just going to take one of them.
Close in on this location.
Chooses not to. Probably play the Darken Aegis on our elusive just to give it a little bit more strength. And then the flash bomb should be... I thought it would be enough to remove both of them, but I guess 3 hit the other one. You do need to trigger one more flash bomb, but I don't think we have a way to do that here. And Garen will come out next round, but he's already out of cards.
Here's my calling card. Scoping the area.
You just full send here. They have to draw, block Caitlyn.
I aim to win, and my aim is excellent.
Caitlyn levels.
Fight for those who cannot.
Play officer squad.
Doesn't matter.
Goal here is going to be next round force our opponent to draw cards, which by the way is not always a good thing to do. Like if your opponent's out of cards, you can't do anything. That's pretty nice. We'll force them to draw some cards so we can get some flash bombs off. And then this will put Caitlyn to 13 on attack.
Demacia.
And yeah, see, we're looking at like 42 damage here. That's pretty good.
I stand ready.
So, like I said, I don't think this is going to be on the power of Nora, but if it ends up being like at least as good as Jhin, then that'll be interesting. And I think maybe that's possible. I think Caitlyn might end up not getting played until you're trying to just win the game, and I think that might be the best way to go with it, as I've been saying this entire time. I'm not throwing out new information here. So, by doing Might of Demacia, we do get... I don't know what these are for. We do get her up to level 4, and that I believe gives her 25 or 30 hit points. Normally now I would do Nautilus over in here. Nautilus is pretty easy, get a couple more levels out of that, and then go into Thresh. Usually by this time I'm hoping to be level 8, and we're using like a Spirit Forge consumable against Thresh. Thresh isn't very threatening, although he might be with Caitlyn because Trandamir is the mid boss, and so we're going to be using our flash bombs and like running into a bunch of Scar units. So they're going to be getting +3/+3 every time those flash bombs hit. But usually you can do Thresh around level 8. After that, I usually just go into Aurelion Sol. Yeah. So first, we do Might of Demacia, then Nautilus, Thresh, Aurelion Sol. Even if you don't make it to the end of Aurelion Sol, you do get a lot of XP. And if you do have those Spirit... I don't think it's Spirit Forge. Cosmic Blessing consumables, or Greater Cosmic Blessings. If you use one on Thresh, you'll get to around like level 20, 21. And if you use one on Aurelion Sol, I think you get to like 28 from 0. So that's pretty good. Caitlyn's level ups are... So we did get her 30 Nexus health. Sting Officer has Studded Leather. That'll do a little more damage, makes him able to survive like Mystic Shot. Piltover Peacemaker gets Mana Potion, so that just reduces its cost to 2. Housewump gets Coral Crush Gauntlets, +1 in Brash. I don't know that that really does anything. Justice Rider gets Phage. They'll make it a little beefier, but like still won't compete with anything in like the 5-star plus range. Probably not even the 4 stars. Advance Intel gets Poro Snacks. That's actually really nice. It just gives us an extra blocker, so we don't necessarily gives us some defensive option by playing it, especially if we can get it to the point where it's a cantrip and we can play it for free through the Constellation ability. A Flash Bomb Peddler gets Arcane Knowledge. Sure. Double Agent gets Locket of the Solari. Locket of the Iron Solari. So that'll let us attack with him on the round that we play him without losing him, or using him as a defensive option. That helps, but I don't think it's like significant, like not super significant. Most Wanted gets Shears of the Goddess. That's going to be great for our end game. And Piltover Peacemaker gets Hextech Fabricator 2. Sure, yeah. I mean, Charging Sigil probably would have been better, but that's fine. And then at level 27, Officer Squad gets Shadow Totem, so that's going to create 2 Most Wanted when you play it. So you'll be able to force your opponent to draw like 6 cards, but you would need like, so you're going to play this on when you turn you have 5 mana, and then do doubles on the round that you have 6 mana. If you can save 3 spell mana from like any previous round, you'll be able to play Caitlyn with having your opponent draw on like 6 or 7 cards in a round, and hopefully that'll be enough to just win the game. I think that's really how I'm going to try to play it. However, that's a lot of setup, and you need to be not dying when you do that. So I don't know if it'll actually play out how it looks, or how I hope it will. Let's see. We unlocked a new quest to play units with equal power and health. We went through another one as well. Not sure what the second quest was. And now we're gonna just throw Caitlyn at Aurelion Sol, kind of see how that goes. She's level 4. We do want to get her to Constellation 3 first, so our traps deal triple damage. Like I said, I don't think there's a way to boost trap damage otherwise. If there is, triple will mean something, otherwise we're just going to deal 3. Doesn't really do a lot here. I could pick up Starve Bounty if I wanted, like House Wump with Shadow Totem, but I'm not sure if I want to keep my Wild Fragments for anything else yet. We'll see. Because I'm not sure that I'm going to like super invest in Caitlyn. But let's go ahead and try her against Aurelion Sol. First is a mirror match. Should be fine. We could take this one. It is a round start summon, which will plan a puff cap. I don't think it's the best thing that we're going to end up looking at. Elemental Winds is skills and spells. This could help with Piltover Peacemaker, which might be nice, but I don't think it helps with very much else in her deck. I don't know if Caitlyn's ability actually counts as a skill when she's leveled up. It might. Let's learn. And she has Unyielding Determination. I feel like her power is better than our power. Or I would, I guess, want both powers. We did pick up the 3-star power for Caitlyn here, which is caught in my trap 2. Your traps deal triple damage. Still not recycling our flash bomb traps. Need to look at that. Maybe that's a Hextech rifle power. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, so that's not from a constellation, that's from the epic relic. Perfect, solved. Keep Piltover Peacemaker for a little bit of removal, keep Sting Officers to attack. Round 1's going to be House Swamp. Actually, it'll be Sting Officer. We'll be able to survive one hit of Caitlyn's ability to just plant traps on us. And these will do 4 because of Elemental Winds. We'll need both of them to remove Caitlyn.
Officer J.S. Hawklaw.
And so we're just going to have to eat losing a unit here. We can play down House Wolf. House Wolf, that might have been a mistake. He's probably going to die to this pick up right here. Didn't. Yeah, okay, we're good. So I could play my Caitlyn, but the opponent's definitely going to play their Caitlyn.
Hot on the trail.
And that'll have 8 hit points, so we want to be able to remove it. We're going to throw one Piltover Peacemaker here. We have Unyielding Determination, so we don't have to worry about it growing in power. We have 2 spell mana and that'll roll over. And we remove Caitlyn with our traps, which is what we were hoping to do. We're gonna take a hit here in some way. Because we can't remove Caitlyn.
Scoping the area.
This targets a unit, so technically you could use it on your own unit to prevent Caitlyn from striking. I don't think that's the call, but good. That might be important in the future for something. And we'll go ahead and drop our level for Caitlyn. We have 2 mana here, which isn't gonna be enough to do very much with. And we're trying to avoid drawing cards so we don't get hit by Caitlyn's power. Play Flash Bomb Peddler and Justice Rider. This is a funny mirror match. Can attack with everything if Caitlyn chooses to block Justice Rider. That's great for us. If the 2 Justice Riders collide, that's not bad for us. And we're just slowly whittling them down. Gonna get our officer squad down. This gives us our most wanted. And if he chooses to attack with Sting Officer, just remove it with Piltover Peacemaker. Add some more Flash Bomb to the deck. I'm going to choose to use Advanced Intel there, just so we can get more Flash Bombs in. We need a lot of them to hit. So we procced 5, which is pretty good. We attack here. We're not quite doing enough damage, so Caitlyn alone will do... This says enough to kill them, and I'm not sure why that's the case. Because it should be... Okay, so yeah, it'll be 11 for Gunslow's Rage Blade, bring her up to 6. And then we'll do 5 more with Caitlyn's ability, and then if we attack like this will be our best way to maximize damage. One option would have been to use Most Wanted, but if we do that, because it's Unyielding Determination, we have to kill him twice, and I didn't think we would have enough damage to pull that off. And then we could remove a unit here, but we can also see what the Flash Bombs will do next round. I assume it'll do massive removal. And so we can play our Double Agent here. When the Double Agent gets a Locket of the Iron Solari, that'll be nice. It'll be like a true defensive option. And then we can go ahead and do a little damage into Chief Mechanist Zevi. I'm not sure if the exact copies will proc flash bombs twice from Zevi,
All part of the plan.
but we did get 7 out and we can remove it.
I must say, a satisfactory outcome.
It takes Scavenge, Camo Cloaker, giving our units elusive is pretty good. And for support, we could take Vayne, that'll let us get extra attacks in. So like if we play Caitlyn and then tumble Caitlyn, I think that's the best thing we can do. Soraka gives us potentially the ability to win through Star Spring. If we heal, I don't know how realistic that is. I'm just gonna go ahead and take Vayne. So here it's gonna be a choice between like this shop and this champion item chest. I think the shop is better for power, and then we can go either way. I feel like Gangplank tends to be easier than Tahm Kench, although both have power overwhelming, and maybe Tahm Kench, his big problem is that like his units are strong, but we're gonna put a lot of flash bombs in his deck. I think Gangplank's still probably easier, though I think the flash bombs would do a really good job of removing Tahm Kench. I'm gonna keep Piltover Peacemaker. That'll give us decent removal. And so Gangplank's main threat is going to be like Parlay and Rain of Fire. You want to keep down his powder kegs. That way his Rain of Fire is less dangerous. Because for example, if we were to play Vayne here, and next round he has Rain of Fire, it'll do 3 damage, or yeah, 3 damage, which would be enough to remove Vayne. We do have Piltover Peacemaker, which means we can remove Powder Keg if we need to. And those Flash Bomb traps are doing work. That feels really good. I was hoping it would, and it does.
I've whipped up something special.
Put Demacia and Steel on Vayne because we have quick attack on Caitlyn. And we just want Vayne to be a little bit more resilient. We need him to use his mana before we play Officer Squad. If he plays Rain of Fire, then... or not Rain of Fire, make it rain. Then we don't have an answer for that. And we're fine losing our house one here. We do have to play a card. We can't allow that to go unanswered. The easiest thing to do would just be tumble on Caitlyn. So it doesn't look like he has Make It Rain in hand. If he did, he would have used it by now. So we're going to end up burning a card, but we want to keep our spell mana. So Gangplank will almost definitely play Gangplank this round. We could attack and remove this Powder Keg, but we can also just save 2 mana to hit it with Piltover Peacemaker. I think that's the better option. Like I said, he was going to play himself. We determined that he doesn't have Make It Rain in hand, so we're not expecting him to use that. Either way, we're going to just take this attack here.
Let's investigate.
If he blocks any of these, we'll Piltover Peacemaker on Gangplank, and we still have enough mana to use another one on the Powder Keg if we need to do that.
Here's my calling card.
We're hoping a flash bomb trap will take out this powder keg here. Which is great. We level up Caitlyn. Caitlyn was only going to have 1 power right now on her ability, which isn't enough to remove Gangplank from the board. So a thing we could do is use Most Wanted and then Tumble. That's going to give him a lot of cards though, and I'm not sure we want to do that. Another thing we can do though is grant our unit Elusive and then Tumble.
Every last monster will be purged.
Gain level up shouldn't matter. Yeah, we just win. The Gangplank, not super difficult. It's one of the easier things that we can come up against. We can double up on our Justice Rider. Bella's Breath is interesting, but with anti-up we're not going to be able to hold it in hand. But it would do like 6 damage with Elemental Wind to everything, which sounds like a good way to remove a lot of threats that we'll be facing. And here, like Insider Knowledge actually might be worth taking. It also comes with Poro Snacks. Yeah, it's something I'm going to consider. And then Easy Prey here. We're going to take it because we have the gold and we can save our reroll for later. But yeah, I think I'm going to take a copy of that just to see how it feels. Big Guy I think gives things elusive. But I think Zoe might end up being easier than Swain here, and I want the gold chest more than I want the Fey Guide. I'm actually not sure on Swain versus Zoe. This Zoe is not Galio Zoe, and since it's not Galio Zoe, it's a lot easier. Still, I mean, it is still Zoe, so Zoe's still a problem, we need to remove it, but the flash bombs should do pretty well at doing that. I'm not super concerned about that. So the husks will provide us 2 flash bombs in deck, and then also power up the first unit we play. We're going to use Piltover Peacemaker. We hesitate on that until they attack, because they usually have a second Zoe in hand. And so we don't want to kill it, and then they play second Zoe, and then we take 2 damage when we don't need to. We'll play Vayne down. If Double Agent had Locket of the Iron Solari, I think we would play that instead. There's almost no chance we'll block here. They don't like losing units for free. But hopefully a Flash Bomb Trap removes it. Mentor of Stones can be very strong. So that did not happen. However, we do have the option to play Insider Knowledge. We only have 4 Flash Bombs, so it's kind of unlikely that we'll hit one though. So we're just going to end up having to deal with that unit. We don't have a good way to remove it, and Mentor of Stones will support it to a 7/5. Gonna gamble here. This gambles in a couple ways. One, if it pulls a Flash Bomb and hits Mentor of Stones or Sneaky Zeeples, we're very happy. The other way we're gambling, hitting both is even better. The other way we're gambling is on a Poro. If we get a Elusive Poro, that would have given us a blocker for Sneaky Zeeple.
Very well.
Attacking there makes no sense. Alright, we're gonna put down Caitlyn. I think it's time.
Well, what have we here?
We still have good attacks here.
Purified bolt.
Practice, as they say, makes perfect.
So right now we're holding our spell mana in case something terrifying shows up. We could actually take this tumble and it'll probably block, but we can also wait and see if the flash bombs kill him. We don't have very many flash bombs yet. We do want to pull our officer squad. Man, what luck.
Why does them fly back into stars?
Securing the perimeter.
My flutter friends are so pretty.
And so here we can tumble. We preserve enough mana to use Caitlyn, built over Peacemaker.
You're in the way.
And we do want to remove one of their units. Yeah, it doesn't attack. I kind of expected them to. They had a pretty good attack there.
I will release them from their pain.
A sentinel's work is never done.
None of these cards are good. Take True Shot Barrage, we might need it for a defensive option. And it'll scale with Elemental Winds. The next... I feel like we skipped a quest. But the last one is deal 50 damage in a round with champions. If you're doing this just to do that, you could probably just play like Elder Dragon. Or Aurelion Sol. I'm gonna re-roll that. Okay, we take crit because we basically have to. I don't want any of those. Jhin has level up, we'll probably lose here. Level up injects a lot of randomness into a game. And I don't think we're strong enough to deal with that at this point. Lay down Flash Bomb Peddler. We could have saved mana for built over Peacemaker, but I don't think it really matters here. When we attack, we're going to give Jhin a Blade's Edge. If he can remove a unit with Blade's Edge, he'll do that, otherwise he'll aim at your Nexus.
Hear that?
This will just remove our Spell Shield, which is fine. And I don't believe he's going to attack here. I didn't do anything, so I could save mana or True Shot Barrage in case we needed to remove a couple units that are coming up. I'm rethinking that. I don't think that's necessarily the best plan. And I just want to get some units on the board here. We can't attack into Jhin. I guess we could with like the double agent. He has Spell Shield. We wanted him to take a couple damage though. So let's go ahead and do that. This way if we proc 2 Flash Bombs, which seems unlikely given the amount that we have in his deck right now. But should that happen, we'll be able to kill him. We can't target him with True Shot Barrage until we remove Spell Shield with something like Built Over Peacemaker, so I don't think that's going to be like a super viable option. So yeah, him pulling Thresh is pretty bad. Thresh will summon an attacking champion, and we don't know what's in his deck because of level up. His Echo, which is honestly probably one of the better options. We can play Vayne down here, but we're never going to be able to attack with her. However, we can do some work in removing these guys.
All coming back to me now.
Sorry. Thresh, we're not super worried about right now. Because he's already done his thing that is scary. Play another Flash Bomb Peddler. And yeah, now we have just an enormous amount of things that we have to deal with. I think we remove Echo because we can remove Echo.
My people are counting on me.
Oh yeah, he has 4 champions on board. We may as well be fighting Aurelion Sol at this point. We also haven't drawn Caitlyn. Not sure how much that would have made a difference, but we do have Insider Knowledge in hand. He doesn't have anything with Overwhelm yet. I know he has leveled up Lee Sin, which does have Overwhelm, and Dragon's Rage. Super unfortunate. We'll add 2 more Flash Bombs to his deck, and then we'll use Insider Knowledge. This will give us a Oro as an additional blocker, and yeah, hopefully proc enough Flash Trap Bombs to remove some of the threats available to us, or available to him. We're going to play Double Agent here. If Lee Sin does not challenge Double Agent, then we'll use it as our first blocker. Okay, he doesn't challenge anything, which is phenomenal. And we just have to full block because we don't have the health to survive. We're hoping to proc more Flash Trap Bombs, but we did not. And Garen's going to be like a continual problem. True Shot Barrage only does 5 damage. We're going to take... I mean, right now it's like over 20. We can't deal with Lee Sin in basically any way at all. We have 9 mana. So we could play 2 cards down. Still not enough.
I aim to win, and my aim.
Playing Caitlyn was probably a mistake. Should have been Vayne instead.
Well, what have we here?
Or even Justice Rider would have been fine.
Clumsy, but it paints a picture.
It is an art, one I have spent years in dedication to.
They've barricaded the door. Doesn't matter.
No, I haven't seen those the other tricksters.
One step ahead.
Enter your sin. Alpha strike.
Carry on.
They look on and the music swells.
Garen was probably the turning point where we lost. That's fine though, we'll try again. No, we don't have a revive yet. So that's as far as we get. We only get 285 experience for making it that far, but it was fun to see how it would go against something that was potentially like outside of our scope of what we could do. I think, like I said, I'll try it again at level 30. I'll level it up right now. Get to level 30. I'll spend a couple of our Cosmic Blessings. I'm really curious how she looks at full, and we'll do another Aurelion Sol run after that. So thank you for watching. I hope this was informative, and I'll see you in the next one. We can see what our daily quest got us, though. Also, like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing. And if you don't enjoy what I'm doing, I just don't like and don't subscribe. Yeah. Alright. See you in the next one. Thank you.